Hello and welcome. Today I will be portioning a pork loin into 4 roasts. 3 of them will be a spicy bacon rub that we got at the local HEB, and the 4th one will be Asian version using the sauce that I made, and I posted a video right there. You can take a look at it, how I make that. So this video is just going to show you how I portion it, season it, vacuum seal it. So the first thing I do is I get the bags, and I write on them today's date, which is the 6th of October, and I put 4 days. 4 days is the amount of time left on the use or freeze by date on the pork loin from the store. So I made 4 of those, and now I want to cut the pork loin. Now, one thing I try to avoid putting the packaging on the cutting board. I try not to have anything on the cutting board that's dirty, so to speak. Well, this has been, unboxed at Sam's, and it's been in the cart, and it's been on the conveyor, and it's been in the car, and it's been in the fridge. So I just keep it off of the cutting board. The other thing I do is I bring a trash can and I put it right here underneath. So when I take this out, it's right here and it won't drip all over the kitchen. And what I try to do also is just to cut the top here so it makes kind of a bowl and holds the fluid in the bag. Just like that. Open it up, hold this end, fill up this end. And if it all works right, the juices stay right there and they don't go all over the kitchen. Then we move the bag and we wash our hands. We want 4 roasts out of this. I typically leave all of this fat on, the whole back fat on here, because when I'm done sous videing this, I will let it cool off just a little bit, unbag it. I will make a sauce out of the water in the bag, and then I will take and blowtorch this outer exterior, and leaving that fat on gives something to catch that flame and just gives it a beautiful charred flavor. So it's something I've learned to do over the years. If you can invest in a blowtorch for stuff like that, even red meat, it works real good. It works good with chicken skin too. So, all right, that said, we look at this. This is a little thicker at this end than it is that end. So instead of just going in, even cuts, we can go a little smaller on this guy because he's thicker, and then get a little bit bigger. And then the next one, and then we got 2 little guys right here. And this, I've learned, is the shoulder end, and this is the ham end. And basically at this point, what we do is season it completely, and then get it in the bag and vacuum seal it. So I've got the bags made. I've got the bacon wrapped. Everything's ready to go on these. This is an old food saver. I'd show you how to use it, but I definitely don't recommend it, because you have to put it up in here and then you have to push it, and it usually goes away from me, and I have to chase it. It didn't this time. And you watch the moisture right here. Make sure it doesn't get up in the seal. And it's not. I always like to click moist because it leaves the seal on just a little bit longer, a little bit hotter. Then you watch it very closely when it releases. If you see moisture moving one way or the other, it didn't seal. Perfect. So this goes right into the freezer and it stays there until we're ready to eat, and we get the water bath going. We pop this right in, do it for 6 hours, comes out great. All right, this is the Asian one, and frankly, we've never done this before. We're just excited to do it though. This is, I consider, the more tender end of the whole loin, so that'll help. And when you do fluids in this kind of vacuum sealer, you have to be very, very careful that it doesn't get sucked up. So you don't quite get as much of the air out. It's not under quite as strong a vacuum per se, but it's still vacuum sealed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this around in here so it gets all the surfaces as much as I can. And then I'm going to put it down flat. Always trying to keep that bag end open as best I can. Rinse my hands off real quick. I'm going to watch very, very carefully as this fluid comes up. And when it gets up there, I'm going to hit the seal button. So we got to get it started first. Get the moist. Yep. Run up there now. Now there's a little gutter up there that'll catch whatever moisture, but I've learned over the years that you don't trust that, dude. You don't want stuff up in there. You don't want too much fluid on the seal. And again, watch very, very carefully. And you didn't see any movement at all. That's a good sign. Let's see, it made a little bit of a mess. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We get that all cleaned up. And then what I like to do on this wet stuff is I'll put it back down in this lower sealer. And I'll give it another seal. Just to be sure. You don't want it popping when you're cooking, that's for sure. This one's an experimental. But these are tried and true. We know these are good. These are wonderful. We're actually not going to freeze one. We're going to have one tomorrow with baked potatoes. That's how much we love them. Let me summarize again. This goes directly from the freezer, frozen solid, into the water bath at 135 degrees. Now, at 135 degrees, the pork comes out pink. If you don't, it's tender, it's juicy, it's cooked, all the way through, and it is completely pasteurized safe. That said, some people have a hard time with pink pork. So bump it up to 137, 138. It'll still be moist, it'll still be tender, it just won't be quite as pink. We like it that way, so that's why we cook it that way. It's perfectly safe, but like I said, some people just don't like pink pork. So if you're having especially grandma or mom-in-law come who's used to old pork that's gray throughout, you might want to cook it a little bit longer. Don't go over 140. I wouldn't anyway, but it'd still be good at 140. That's kind of my process. I thought I'd share it with you. I might put in some film of this one at the end of this when I cook it tomorrow, and so you can see how it turned out. Really appreciate you watching the video. I'm going to do a lot more of these, so stay tuned, folks. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for watching.